How many times have you looked at someone who did something good, someone who made people happy, someone who dedicated their life for the health and well-being of those around them and thought for yourself, I wish I was like that. I don't believe that people are good or bad. We're good at some parts and bad at some parts. But you can always strive to be better and do better by taking small steps to become a good person, even if that is just saying hello to your neighbors. The key is to not wait for when I get more money, when I have that skill, when I have time, because that time will never come. You need to start now. And if we all try to be just a little bit better, imagine what the world will look like. My name is Emelie. Welcome to my channel where I share content for people who want to live a happy and mindful life while still crushing it at work. In this video, I will share some big and small ways to help you be a good person, or at least a better person than you were yesterday. What I'm trying to say is not that I'm in any way perfect, but I'm on a journey to become one of those genuinely good people and trying to be more thoughtful about the people around me and my surroundings. I set a theme for myself last year to be the year of authenticity because I was getting kind of tired of feeling stuck in a world where people just work for their ego and money and materialistic purposes. I wanted to get back to the things that really truly matter. In this video, I'm gonna share some recommendations that I've gotten and tried to implement in my life to become a better person than I was before. When we're talking about being a good person, this is actually a way that is very hands-on saving people's lives. Last year, I became a blood donor and it just feels absolutely amazing when you get that text that your blood has been used on someone. And it's just mind-blowing to me that we can spend like in a year, say maybe 2 hours in total, or say 4. And you can spend 4 hours to save 4 people's lives in a year. And all you need to do is to show up at the blood donor center. Becoming an organ donor is not that much work. You basically just have to fill in a paper and then, if you're gone, and your organs might as well help someone else to live their life. It's a no-brainer for me, but I know that this is a touchy subject and it's up to every person to do as they please. But I think it's a really simple way to make sure that you're doing one last deed in your life. Donating stem cells is not something that I've seen so much about, but there's basically a lot of different registries around the world where people can sign up to become a donor. And then when someone who has a disease and needs stem cells is a match with you, you get a letter home saying that they need the help from you. The chances are not that high that you get a letter home saying that someone is a match with you, but if they do, wouldn't that just be absolutely amazing to help save that person's life? I've put links in the description for all the Swedes who watch this so that you easily can sign up for all of these. I think we've all kind of been in that situation where we're in a group of friends or in a group of people we don't know and we feel kind of excluded because maybe they're tight with each other, or you don't know them as well as they know each other, or just for any other reason. Maybe you're just kind of different from them. And if you're in a group of people, it doesn't take so much effort from you to make sure that everyone feels included. Make sure that if you're discussing a topic, ask what the person who hasn't said anything in a while is thinking. Like, Steve, what are your thoughts on this? Lisa, do you agree or do you think differently? This is a character trait or skill that makes a person very, very likable. Because if you're the person who includes everyone in the group, people are gonna flock around you because you become kind of a natural leader for everyone. Another easy way to implement this skill to make everyone feel included is if you're on a walk and someone needs to stop and tie their shoelaces, don't just be the person who keeps walking, but stop and keep talking to that person and then you'll catch up to the group later. A great way to focus on other things than the people around you is to focus on sustainability and your actual environment. There are a lot of different ways that you can do this and you probably know a lot of them, but some of the largest ways is to reduce your traveling, mainly with airplane and car, because those two are kind of the biggest ones. It's better to travel by train, for example, and by public transport. You could become a vegetarian or just in general eat more beans and vegetables and fruits. And then the last kind of simple area that I think has a really great impact is to reduce your shopping and Stop taking so much new things home, but rather reuse the things that you already have, or maybe buy secondhand things or vintage things because they are just as good as new items. And in a lot of cases it's more fun to buy secondhand because they are kind of different from all the other things that are mass produced right now. So a good way is to implement a kind of a minimalist lifestyle and start shifting your focus away from material things to the actual values in this world, and like spending time with people and just taking a walk in nature. The fourth way of becoming a better person than you were yesterday is quite a simple one, I think, and it is to completely stop talking about people in a negative way behind their back. One thing that I've implemented in my life and that I'm trying really hard to stick to, because I think it's just kind of a core value, that you should only say things about people that you would be able to say to their face. If you're talking about someone and you wouldn't be able to say that thing to a person's face, then maybe you just shouldn't say that. You probably knew that this point would come up about giving to other people or things that you care about. And it doesn't have to be money. It can be your time or appreciation or attention that you're giving. Because I know, and you know, and everyone knows that not all people have enough money to spare. But if you don't have money, then maybe you have time that you can dedicate to things and people that don't have the same opportunities as you in the world. But also, do a little bit of reflection with me here. How much of your money that you have do you actually need? Like, I mean, how much do you really need and how much do you want? How much money do you spend on things that you're happy about for 2 seconds and then it's gone? And well, yeah, maybe it was nice for those seconds, but if you would have put those money into another cause, wouldn't that have made you more happy in the long term and maybe helped another person become more happy? Something interesting that I've come across now that I've started donating more money is that I constantly have this feeling of, you're just wasting money on this. You could have done this and this and this. And it's really difficult to kind of lose the ego of that all the money belongs to you, because you can do so much more with it if someone else had it. I mean, this is exactly the same thought, I guess, that goes into all these billionaires' heads. Although a lot of them give away a lot of money, I'm not saying that they're egoistic in that way, but the statistics say that if all the rich people shared a bit of their wealth, everyone will live a really happy and also kind of wealthy life. So doing what we can to even out that a bit, isn't that a good thing then? Yeah, I just find it really interesting that the ego is kind of blocking all the time. If you want to put a bigger perspective on the giving in your life, I've come across a website that is called 80,000 hours. And that is basically all the hours that you spend in your entire work life on working, on average. And what they say is that if you spend your time at work doing something good, then you've spent 80,000 hours in your life to do something good for humanity or a specific group or one thing that you care about. So either you can donate your time or your money, and you can do it just through what you do every day. Isn't that cool? And actually, I found this a lot, that if you want to become really rich, a lot of rich people say that you should actually focus on giving. I don't know, call it karma or the universe or whatever, but what you give actually comes back to you in some way. Feeling good in yourself and in general being a happy and peaceful person is probably the best investment that you can give yourself and the world. Because if you're a good person to yourself, it's also a lot easier to be a good person to everyone else around you. If you're happy, it's a lot easier to spread happiness into the world. So it's super important that you work on yourself, and not in kind of like a self-development, want to learn all the skills way, but in a way that makes you happy and calm and peaceful about where you are in life and in the world. And that will be the main key towards you being a better person than you were before. I hope you learned something in this this video that will help you give more love and consideration to your surroundings, and that you will join my journey on becoming good or at least better persons than we were yesterday. Also, if you have some good recommendations for me or just tips in general for how to become a better person, write it down below. I think we're all very interested to know. Now, have a nice day and go call someone you haven't talked to in a while.